Daken Japan is going to be the August season for Marvel Snap, and with it came this amazing developer update. I've already watched it, but I wanted to show you guys and just kind of react to the amazing animation that they put in this one. It's so sick. And then we're going to get to the star ratings for these upcoming cards. So let's check out this trailer. This is so cool, man. I mean, like, I'm blown away. The animation here, oh my goodness. I'll shut up. I'll shut up real quick. Oh, get him. So good. So this is Daken. This is going to be a variant. An innocent bystander. Ooh. And then this is just amazing. Look at that backdrop with Kaiju Stagron. Let's go, Stags. Ooh, ooh, ooh. She's in. I don't even know what it said there. Then there's got the cards preview, some locations, some variants, some avatars, cosmetics, the season pass stuff. Let's go. All right, there you go. So this is Daken. This is the season pass card, the long lost son of Wolverine. Pretty sick. So I'm giving Daken a 4 stars. And what does he do? So he's a 3/4 on reveal. Add the Muramasa shard to your hand. That is the shard right there. It's a 1/1. We're gonna get to that in a second. But there's a lot of synergies from this and the shard itself. The two are kind of intertwined. So let's check out the shard right now. Boom, there's the shard. So it is when this is discarded or destroyed, double Daken's power. It's a 1/1. Okay, so there's a lot of synergy here. It's actually crazy. There's a card going back to your hand. There's destroy synergies. There's discard synergies. There's doubling in power. There's card buffing synergies. There's just so much that's happening. But is it going to be worth it? And honestly, I think yes. I think Daken is going to find a spot. And my first take is that this is going to be much better in the discard package than it is the destroy, because this is kind of a one-time effect. Unless you can generate multiple shards with like Moon Girl or some cloning vats, shenanigans, anything like that, well then maybe you can get that power going to like exponential levels. You get Daken super big, but then you don't really want to do that because then you're within Shang-Chi range, right? I don't think that's all that great. I think the best value from Daken is to make him a 3/8 and just be happy with it, and you're good to go. And literally, how do you do that? Well, you play Daken on curve, so turn 3, and then you play MODOK. You play MODOK on curve on 5. You discard your shard, your swarm, your APOC, all these good things that you already wanted to do, but now you have a 3/8, which is fantastic tempo, can't be countered with Shang-Chi, and you're just well off. Maybe this ends up being the rise of Shadow King because there's more of these cards that are growing in power and he needs to counter them. He's like the only way to actually counter this card because it wouldn't be base power anymore, right? It's doubling the power, it's giving him a buff. Now you could go the crazy route, right? So if we go back to Daken, we could go the route of buffing him up with Forge, right? That's a nice curve play. You play Forge on 2, Daken on 3, find a way to discard or destroy that shard. You're easily going to get to 12 power. That's pretty good for 3, right? You have to do a few extra steps. That's a bit of a problem, but for the most part, I mean, that's just good value. That's just good value. And he's a 3 cost. We've been talking a long time about like this kind of destroy Silver Surfer deck brewing with Killmonger, Deathlock, Venom, all these things that kind of work in tandem together. Maybe Daken helps push it to the next step. You know, you get the shard back. You want to destroy it anyways. You got these 3 costs. You're going to play them anyways. And then Silver Surfer is a nice turn 6 burst play. I think it's pretty sick. And then another one I think that's going to fly under the radar is Daken in a control list. I don't know what that's going to look like necessarily. I'll have my preview up in a few short days, so definitely snap subscribe. But the idea is that you play Daken and then you play Professor X. Even if your opponent has more power than you at that location, well, you know that you can at least discard or destroy the shard to get another +4 power at least at that Professor X location, and you should be fine. Then you throw in your Jeff or whatever else you got to do. So maybe Lockdown is actually going to get a bit of a buff here too. There's so much. There's even collector shenanigans, putting cards into your hand. I don't even know, dude. There's just sky's the limit with this card. That's why I've given him a 4 stars, because yeah, there's counters, you know, there's extra steps that need to be had, so it's not just a clear 5 stars for me, but a very strong option, very fun season pass card. If you like destroy, you like discard, you like control, I feel like he's going to find a place in just about any of those, or maybe none, you never know. But let's check out the other cards. All right, then Lady Deathstrike was announced, and just as her data mines predicted, she is a 5/3 on reveal. Destroy each card here with less power than this. I'm giving this 3 stars, and I'm honestly kind of leaning towards giving it lower. I see a lot of fun opportunities here. You could use it to destroy your own things like Nova, Bucky Barnes, or anything that you want to destroy, right? A nice, cheap way to do that. Well, not cheap, she's not cheap, but it's efficient because you're destroying things on your opponent's side of the board as well, hopefully, which is really strong. The problem I have with this card is I look at Killmonger and I just say most instances, I probably want to play him. Even if I did some crazy shenanigans like this line of play, where I play Shuri, I play Lady Deathstrike, maybe I even played Okoye earlier, let's say, okay? Let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. We brought Deathstrike to 4, then Shuri made her an 8, and then I play Arnim Zola and I hit Lady Deathstrike, okay? So I'm destroying everything in that lane with 8 or less power, and then I'm Arnim Zoloing it to the other 2 lanes and going to do that again, 8 and under power. That's really good, but there's a lot of cards that end up with more power than 8 or under, and they're going to be perfectly fine. So if your opponent played like Darkhawk and they got it to like a crazy power total, they're going to be fine. She-Hulk, going to be fine. There's a lot that's going to dodge it. And then you could say, well, that's where Shang-Chi comes in play and you could use him. Well, yeah. I'd rather just run Killmonger and Shang-Chi to cover my bases rather than set up a crazy Deathstrike. So I feel like she's going to kind of be really exciting, have some cool moments, but not actually be reliable. And especially if you don't buffer, if you just leave her as a 5/3 and you play that on curve, I feel like that's going to be tough as well. And the 5 spot, being 5 cost, that's a competitive slot to actually make lists. So I just feel like this is going to be a bit underwhelming. Now, really quick note here, guys, the Series 5 release, that's to be determined. In the data mines, all of these cards in August that are being released were scheduled to be Series 5 releases. I don't anticipate that being the actual case, but it could. And what we've seen in the past is typically the cards that come out first are Series 5 and the cards that come out later in the month are Series 4. Lady Deathstrike is confirmed to be the first card released in the month after the season pass with Daken. So I imagine she's going to stay as a Series 5 card. But maybe these next 2 won't, but maybe they will. We're going to find out soon when the official blog comes out on marvelsnap.com. Moving on to X23, a highly anticipated card that a lot of people think are going to shift the meta in some fashion, and I think I'm leaning that way, but I'm also a bit worried that this is not what it was meant to be, not as exciting as it was meant to be. There's a few comparisons that I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be the card that we want to run in our destroy decks. I don't think this is worth running in discard necessarily, but we'll get into it. Let's talk about the card. It is a 1/2. When this is discarded or destroyed, regenerate it at a random location and you get +1 energy for the next turn. Now, the reason I don't think this is going to be all that great, I want to get that out of the way and then talk about why I think it's going to be fantastic. So is because you have to invest to destroy it and you don't know where it's going to land. So yeah, you could do that once pretty freely, right? On turn, let's say 4, you could play X23 plus Deathlock, right? And then that's going to be pretty good. Then on your turn 5, you're going to have 6 energy and you can play your destroyer, get another bonus energy for turn 6. You'll be at 7. You can play, I don't know, null plus something else. Like there's a nice line of play there. But what I feel is going to happen is, one, maybe she moves to a spot that you can't even really reliably play, or you set up cards there that you don't want to destroy, so you don't want to destroy her. She's just a 1/2, and then that kind of takes up a spot that you didn't want it to take up. The other thing is in a Galactus list. I think a lot of people see this as a nice opportunity to play Galactus early because he needs ramp, and then he needs to do something after that. Usually it's like a Spider-Man, or it's a really big play with Null. X23 is going to take up a spot at the Galactus location. Is that going to matter? I don't really know. If it helps ramp into it quicker, then it won't. But if it's, you're looking to play a bunch of cards for power output, having a 1/2 there isn't necessarily what you wanted. Wolverine, you're hoping he gets to 4 or 6. Nimrod, you're trying to get to at least a couple of Nimrods to get to 12. X23 taking up a spot might be a little bit awkward. I don't know. I'd rather the Nimrod Wolverine package, but time will tell. Anytime there's energy, guys, it's good in Snap. And that's why I'm giving this 3.5 stars. Could have given it 4, but I held back a little bit. Ramp is just so good. You look at Electro, Psylocke. This is Eclipse Psylocke pretty much, unless you want to play Psylocke in a non-destroy discard package. Discard, I don't know if that's all that great either, because you're just getting a one-time value out of it. Unless you're running a hybrid, which has not really been seen before, that'd be a little bit whack. You're just getting a +1 energy and you get a 1/2 on the board for free. Maybe that's okay. I don't know. I end up cutting Wolverine a lot of the time, and he can be 4 power for free. And so I don't know if this is necessarily worth it in discard package. So anyways, the variants are fire. Peach Momoko does not miss. My goodness, that looks so good. Probably my most excited card outside of the Season Pass Daken. I think that's going to be the most fun, but this would be number 2 for me for this month. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, this is going to be the 3rd card released in the month. Daken Lady Deathstrike X23. This could be Series 5. It could be Series 4. We're going to find out. I kind of imagine this is going to stay as Series 5, and I think the next one I'm going to talk about might change to Series 4. All right, and then we got the Samurai. Silver Samurai, been data mined for the longest time. He used to have a crazy bonkers ability where if he was discarded, then it would draw you a card. That was just really good. He was a 1/2, but now he's a 4/5. On reveal, each player discards the lowest power card from their hand. When I cover this in data mines, I don't know why. I just totally blanked. I'm so used to cards, discard cards, looking at the energy cost. I didn't even notice that this meant power. That definitely helps this card. But I'm still giving it 2.5 stars because I just feel like there's other things in Snap that are doing something similar, and they don't even end up getting run. You look at like the Black Bolt statures kind of making a comeback, but it took forever for Black Bolt to even become viable. And then you look at Moon Knight, who never gets played, and he's cheaper. Now you could use Zabu and make this a 3/5, and then you're discarding something from your opponent, which might be really good to get rid of. And then you have a synergistic card like, I don't know, Swarm, right? Or the Murmasa Shard that we were talking about earlier would be fantastic synergy with this. So there's definitely ways to make this work. I just feel like when you're building your deck list, this would be one of the first ones to be cut. It just is not going to do enough for you. If this discarded the highest power card from your hand and like the lowest from your opponents or something like that, that would be bonkers because you can hit APOC reliably, and that's always helpful. Maybe this ends up being found in a Hella list as well because you just run a bunch of high power things and then like an Iron Man, right? And then it's guaranteed to discard Iron Man. And then again, you know what I just realized? I just said I was talking about APOC being discarded, but I was thinking about cost. Geez, it's such it confuses me because I'm so accustomed to discard with cost, but this is power. But yeah, anyways, Iron Man would be a fantastic addition, right? You could use Wong, you play Silver Samurai in the Wong location after setting up with Sabu and everything's cheap, and then you could, I don't know, try to find a bunch of low power cards they want to discard and then play Hella, right? So like Iron Man comes out, Null, or I don't know, Arnim Zola even to hit the Iron Man. I'm sure there's a lot better options, but it's out there. I don't know, it's different. We haven't seen it before, so maybe it ends up being really good and there's a crazy broken strategy, but I don't quite see it. You can use this to activate your stature. It very unlikely that stature ends up being the lowest power card in your hand. I got that confused before, so that's a decent synergy. You get a discard out of your opponent, and then maybe you hit Swarm, and then you got like stature, swarms, and whatever else you got to do on turn 6. Doesn't seem that bad. That could work. That's why I'm giving him 2.5. Could have went to 3. Maybe he's better than I'm anticipating, but it just feels maybe a bit awkward. But there you go. Those are the cards. This is going to be the last one. I think this one could go to Series 4. If they're going to change any of them, I think this is the one to go to Series 4. Hopefully. I hope that they change at least one. It would be a bummer. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any series drops from what I've seen confirmed on Twitter. So no series drops, and all these cards going straight to Series 5 would feel really bad. I hope they don't do that, but time will tell. I'm sure we'll have more information soon. But there's also 2 locations that were announced. All right, so these are the 2 locations. I used to give these star ratings, but then it kind of just felt funny because, like, how can you actually evaluate? It was more on a fun scale. You know what? I'm just going to give the thumbs up or the Deadpool, the snap, the Thanos emoji, or the Deadpool. Not too sure about it. So value of the hand after turn 5, your destroyed cards revive here. The reason I'm giving this the Deadpool emoji is because destroy gets another synergistic location. Oh my goodness, I feel like they get every second one. But there you go. There's another one. It's kind of neat. having your cards revive is cool to see that mechanic coming back. I don't hate it, guys. I don't hate it. We'll see how it goes. It's also a timed trigger. You never know. Snow Guard implications. Then you got Yashida Base. At the end of the game, destroy the last card to get here. I like this a lot. I'm a big fan of the locations that have little mini built-in quests. Like, we got the Raft, the White Hot Room. You can even look at TVA as a little mini quest to figure out the game. I think that's pretty fun. And then the last card gets destroyed. So you got to watch out when you're playing cards here, because if you're one of the last ones to play there, then it's going to get destroyed. It's like a reverse quest. You're just keeping track of what's actually been played and when. And then maybe turn 6, if your opponent's thinking, ha, you screwed up, you played the last card, it's going to get destroyed, you throw down an armor or Professor X to save the day. That could be pretty neat. You never know. So anyways, I thought those were pretty neat. Let me know what you guys think about the new season, the cards that are being released, which ones you guys are planning on picking up. I'm super excited as always. New season time is so much fun. I can't wait for the big patch. They have confirmed in the last blog that it's going to be August 8th. So it's going to be in just 4 days or so. So that's pretty exciting. That's always when we get data mines, right? We're going to be talking about data mines. You got to snap subscribe because we got the data mines. And then also all kinds of new stuff like PC, widescreen. Let's go. Anyways, lots to be excited about. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys next time.